Coach Paugh's father, George Sr., was a high school band director and his mother, Ruth, a middle school music teacher. They both played in the Jacksonville Symphony Orchestra. So you would think their son inherited the musical gene. And he did, since George was in the all-county band, the all-state band, and performed with the FSU marching band playing the cornet. Despite that, he never had a burning passion for music, but entwined within the family's musical genes was a strong teaching element that became part of George's DNA. Indeed, Coach George Paugh, who swam for the Seminoles and paraded on college football fields, would march along a different path, a path that intersected with the lives of thousands of young people. Born in Youngstown, Ohio, George moved with his family to Arizona, where his parents continued playing and teaching. Later, the Paugh family packed up once again and moved to Alachua, Florida, near Gainesville. George was still a toddler at the time, and the family's next and last move took them to Jacksonville. He graduated from Inglewood High School, where he played in the band under the tutelage of his father, the band director. George felt the magnetic attraction of the Atlantic Ocean as a young man.
I was working at different jobs, making $1 or $2 an hour. Then I said, shoot, I realized I could live at the beach and have more fun and make a little more money.
He recalls. That was in 1964, and George quickly became a man of the water. In college, he was on the FSU swim team, and in his new hometown of Jacksonville Beach, he became part of the American Red Cross Volunteer Life-Saving Corps. The Corps had a long history of protecting and saving lives, dating back to 1912 as the first volunteer lifeguard organization in the country. Since then, it's estimated the lifeguards have saved at least 2,000 lives. George remembers his first rescues when he saved a brother and sister from a runout. Later, he learned to paddleboard and used that to save even more lives. It's been said that once a lifeguard, always a lifeguard. George can attest to that, saying,
It becomes part of you. It's just one of those things. It's more than a job. This becomes life.
And it certainly seems that way for George, since over the years he was captain of the Corps twice, served as the lifeguard instructor twice, and was the Corps' quartermaster for a number of years. Today, he does his part by teaching young swimmers every summer in the junior lifeguard program, where he estimates he's worked with 2,000 to 3,000 kids over the years. We'll return to that program, but first, we need to tell you about George's impressive coaching career at Fletcher High School. Coach Paugh began his career in education teaching 8th grade general science at DuPont High School in Jacksonville, where he also coached baseball, track, and football. 3 years later, he moved to Wolfson High, where he coached swimming, was the offensive line coach for the football team, and started the wrestling program. Coach Paugh moved to Fletcher High in 1973 and coached the boys' swim team and the junior varsity football team. A year later, he became the varsity offensive line coach under head coach Mike McCann. Of course, wrestling was part of his responsibilities, and after serving a year as assistant coach, he became the head wrestling coach. Before long, he'd created a program that found his teams perpetually among the top 3 in Duval County. George is proud of his wrestling team's successes, but he's never strayed far from the water. For years, he's organized and coached the Jacksonville Beach Junior Lifeguard Program, a series of one-week summer camp sessions. George tells us he doesn't have to advertise the program, and it fills up as soon as the word gets out. He estimates he's helped teach beach and ocean safety to about 200 kids nearly every summer. Coach Paugh is often stopped whenever he's out in public, as happened recently at Publix, when a young man approached him saying, "Coach Paugh, I was in your summer program the last 3 years, and that was the best camp I've ever been in." Coach Paugh also works throughout the year with the Beach's Aquatic Club, a USA Swimming-sanctioned year-round program for beginning and advanced swimmers. The swimmers practice Monday through Friday at the Fletcher High swimming pool and compete in swim meets on weekends. George works with middle and elementary school kids, as well as serving as the head girls swim coach to develop their love of swimming and prepare them for the next level. He'll tell you that coaching is more than teaching kids how to wrestle or to improve their stroke time. Sports teaches kids about life, how to work together and stay positive. Coach Paugh teaches all those life lessons and more, instilling confidence and teaching by example. He did that by working out and running with his football and wrestling teams. He invited them to his house for pancake breakfasts his wife Carolyn would make. He drove some of them home after late practices. George met his wife at Florida State, where they were in adjoining sorority and fraternity houses. Together, they raised their 3 children, and Coach Paugh looks with pride on them, as well as his extended family of students and athletes, some who came from challenged homes.
I've run into my former students on vacations in Washington, D.C., in New York at the Statue of Liberty, and right here on my street. One of them stopped me coming out of the station, and he comes by, "Hey, Coach Paugh." And he said, "You know, I was in the drugs before I got with you in wrestling, and you saved me." Those are the times you really realize how much of an impact you have on other people because they tell you from their heart.
Coach Paugh has never sought the limelight, quietly working with thousands of young people who have benefited from his steady hand and caring nature. This humble man of the water has made our community a better place. And if he won't blow his own horn, we're happy to do it for him.